Yeah, Superbooth 2026, we're at Reliq, and you did a thing with a lot of buttons where didn't really understood what it is. So you said it's a sequencer, it's also a mixer, it's like a door interface. What exactly is it?
Yes, so it's hard to describe it in one word, but
It's everything.
yes, the term we're using it's a musical instrument, and we did it in this way because the idea behind it is to come up with a workflow that doesn't involve troubleshooting. It doesn't involve so much what kind of interface or what kind of instruments you want to use, but you have everything in your hands, and then you don't have to distinguish between different parts of the music making process or the composition. So to start with, it comes together with this breakout module right here.
But this is just a routing.
Yes. So this is 16 analog ins and 16 analog outs right here that you can do audio level, line level, control voltage, and then we have 32 CV outs, 16 gates.
Does it come with the Patchbay?
It does come together, yeah.
Ah, okay.
So it's one thing. The Patchbay is out, so you can put it on a Eurorack or you can have it somewhere further away. You can travel patched. And then we have like MIDI outs on the back, USB host. And the first page of Reliq is the matrix. So what we can do there is we can connect all of our instruments from, like, for example, an FM synth, a drum machine, a Eurorack synth, and then instead of connecting the cables manually, we can assign, let's say we want to connect this verbose harmonic oscillator or second voice to our reverb. We can just press the button here, or we can connect it directly to our DAW. And this is a bit too loud, so I can go on the mixer and I can turn this down a bit. And the moment I did that, it's already stored. So this is one routing, one single connection. Then I can change between routings in real time. So I can change the way that all of my equipment and all of my instruments are connecting to each other.
So these are like different presets, or are you making connections as we speak?
We're making connections as we speak, practically.
Oh gosh.
This will be the equivalent as like having 10 hands and changing all the cables around here.
Yeah,
to the interface.
But usually I would only have to set up this once.
Yes, but it depends on the case. We see a lot of use cases where people use it in studios for different configurations, or on stage. If you want on track 1 of your live set your snare to go to a reverb, but then track 2 goes to a compressor first, then you just press a button and this moves. But you can also program this on the song mode, and you can even sequence that on the sequencer. So you can get a different series of connections depending on the rest of the composition and the other sequencer tracks. So there is the matrix part, and then there is the mixer part. This is more of the sound design and routing section.
Okay, yeah, this is where you already did the mixing here and just made it a little bit quiet. Okay, so this is, is this only for the DAW, or it's MIDI connections and I can use it with 16 synths as well?
This is all analog audio. There are no like MIDI connections, there is no DAW involved at this stage. This is all via an analog mixer that comes right here. So this is like a physical, like an analog attenuation.
So now the sound is coming in from that into this, and then you mixing whatever is plugged in over here, over there.
Yes, you connect and mix. For example, we have connected the outputs of the Digitone, which is an FM synth, right here, and here we can see the Digitone outputs. We can attenuate them, and we have connected the Digitone outputs to both the DAW, but we've also sent the Digitone back to the Eurorack through a reverb and a delay processor that also goes on another track on a DAW.
Yeah.
But all these are physical routings, analog mixing, and connections.
Yeah, okay, so this is a mixer part that I didn't understand at first. I thought it was for DAW integration and everything else, sequencing.
Until now we're fully standalone, like the matrix and the mixer is fully standalone.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
And then we have the timing brain of Reliq.
What's the resolution of the mixer?
The resolution, you mean in terms of like
is it like only 8 steps or 127?
No.
Or can I?
No, it's similar to an analog VCA, and you can use the knobs to attenuate with precision, or you can use the faders to do fast movements. Half the faders are doing the inputs, half the faders are controlling the outputs, and you can choose if you want to control the inputs or the outputs with the knobs. So if I click the joystick down, I can control the output. If I click the joystick up,
I was drawn to the lights. I didn't notice this.
There is a lot of fine control on the mixer for sure.
Ooh, the lights. Okay, and this is the sequencer.
Yes, so this is the timing brain of Reliq. We have 16 sequencer tracks that they can go up to 1024 bars each. So they the size of each pattern, it's not really a limitation here. And every track can be sent to CV or MIDI or USB, right here.
Okay.
And we, in 1.7, so the next update that comes in a couple of weeks, we added a new CV standard option that we can switch between 1 volt per octave, 1.2 volt per octave for Buchla, and hertz per volt for older Korg synthesizers. The idea behind that you can control from the same interface any sort of like control voltage or MIDI standard.
Okay, so basically right now this is the sequence. You're probably using CV for that thing now.
Right now I'm using multiple tracks, so this is 16 tracks. Some of them are doing control voltage, some of them are doing MIDI.
Okay, yeah. Going into the electron, okay?
Yes, to drum machines right here. So there are several ways to use the sequencer, so let's go to an empty state. This is the clip page where we can select like different patterns, so all these are my patterns. I'll go to a clean state and then I will control the Digi2. This is a track that is connected to the Digitone, since by MIDI, and then I can enable steps like in a more like classic sequencer style.
Does it support polyrhythm?
Yes, you can do polyrhythms, so there is a fine tuning of length, so every track can be like a different length. So you can do polyrhythms in this way, or polymeters. There is also a Euclidean generator if you want to create Euclidean patterns, and you can have multiple seats, so multiple subdivisions of 32 steps, and different step counts.
Okay, so right now this on channel 4, this is one instrument where you're doing these steps, and then I can see the notes up here. So this is different, for example, to the Square Parpax, where this would take up a whole instrument now, as it also displays the note, the pitch.
Well, this is the overview, so this is where I see all of my tracks. But if I click the pitch knob right here, I go into a piano roll view. So now this is the whole instrument, and this is my C, this is D, this is E, and now it's scale quantized, so there are different colors on the pads to indicate the scales. So if I press this, I'm in scale, and then I can also do chords. So this is a way to go deeper into it and actually draw your melody with precision.
Yeah, and this is more accessible. Yeah.
And there are different versions of the piano roll, different sub-pages. So right now we're in pitch, so if I want to change like a note, I can the length of the note, I can do it like this to create tides. I have fine control over its individual voice. I can change its pitch, velocity, microtime, ratchets. This is a new accumulator engine that comes soon, so it's not out there yet, but it's going to come in a couple of weeks from now, most probably. And then we have the velocity, where this becomes faders, and you can control the velocity of each individual step for faster interactions.
Oh, that's per step?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering about the automation. So if, you can probably also use this for automation for some filter.
Exactly. So there is an instrument definition setting, so you can select what instrument you are controlling. So Reliq is aware already that we are using a Digitone.
Okay.
It knows all the parameters of the Digitone.
How many instruments have you implemented yet?
There are about 400 instruments in the last thing, but you can make your own instrument definitions and transfer them into Reliq.
So is there a forum for that, for an exchange or something?
We are using the MIDI guide library, which is an open source repository, community-based, so you can just commit your instrument there, and either you can make it or somebody else will make it, and on the next update it's going to be on Reliq from us, or you can transfer it by yourself.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
So when you go on automations here, you can see all the different settings of the Digitone. So let's go and find something which is a bit obvious. So filter type, envelope width. So let's do delay, for example. So I can set the interpolation on to draw like a smoother wave. I can do something like that. And then if I go on track 2 on the Digitone, I see my delay moving right there. So I already have like an automation of the delay on the Digitone. I can do this for CV. I can do this for pitch on CV in order to create glides and more like a linear motion between pitch. And then I can go back to the original setting. And I can do this, of course, like in fine resolutions of all the steps and the seat length of the current track. So there is also a parameter lock, so when I'm on the landing page, that's how we call the sequencer page, where I see all the tracks, I can just press any step and I can offset the pitch. I can change the duration, micro timing, and
that's the usual, really.
Yeah, that's like a very quick interaction to do fine details. Then there are multiple new options. There is this overview that we added on the upcoming update right here, where you can see what happens on your envelopes, on your matrix, on the current clip that you are on the sequencer. There are different speeds, different directions, so you can experiment a lot with odd measures and multiple divisions. There are generators and different track types. So right now we have a melody track, and the melody track is scale quantized. We can select either a different scale per track or a master scale on the settings right here. And then we have other track types, which, for example, this one is drum. We have connected this to an analog rhythm. So this has 16
how many? 16 drum tracks.
16 instrument sounds
that's a lot.
per drum track.
Great.
And here we can create like a small drum groove. And when we go on the keys page, which is usually where we play live and we record.
Okay, so the different inputs. This is the drum input. There's probably a few more for playing a melody.
Melody and chords. So on the drum here we have like 16 bigger pads, and we can assign the velocity or a repeat value. So this is like a low snare, and then this is like an 8 repeat. So if you want to do a drum roll, you can do something like that. And then we can go...
Are the buttons velocity sensitive?
No, the pads are not velocity sensitive. They are like pads, like toggle pads.
On and off.
On and off.
Okay.
But if you go on a melody track on the keys page, there is a velocity fader right here with very fine resolution, up to 128. So you can...
Okay.
So you can play directly here with the velocity. And then we also have like a chord mode, which is set right here. On the keys page, we can set the mode to chord, and here we see different chord degrees. We can play them, but every chord have its own defined parameters. So we can invert this chord, we can rotate it, we can disable voices. Right here we can spread or drop different voices of the chord. And here we are adding, we also have modifiers like sus2, sus4, add a sixth or add an eighth. And in 1.7 that's coming out soon, we're introducing a new strumming mode. So you can define if the strum is going to be upwards or downwards and the rate of the strum. So you can have different strumming per chord. And of course you can record this, but if you go on the sequencer page, there is a chord piano roll, which is specifically for chords. So if you press a step, you can define what chord you want to add right here.
Okay. So now I understood the mixer and the sequencer part. There's also the DAW integration, and I spoke with your co-worker before. Like, it's really on time because he usually does MIDI clocks, so he really knows what he's doing.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, so let's jump into the DAW integration. This is something that took us quite some time to figure out because Reliq is a standalone instrument, and the relationships we have when we play music and computers can be a bit complicated. Sometimes we need it, sometimes we don't want it to be there. So the first step was to find a way to make sure that we can synchronize computers with the rest of the hardware, which is harder than it sounds. We tried multiple methods, and then we started working with Symantonic to come up with a protocol. It's called Usync. It's available on macOS as a plugin. You just connect a USB connection to your computer, you load the plugin, and then you have sample accurate precision. So everything is really snapped on between hardware and software.
Where do I set the latency? On my DAW or in this?
If you want to set latency, and you're using audio latency, usually you were doing on the DAW, so you find the buffer size. The Usync already takes care of the MIDI latency to a big extent, but for extreme cases, like when you're using really heavy plugins, we also have a manual adjustment if it's really needed.
I was thinking of really old synthesizers.
You can do that this way. And after we figured that out, we wanted the computer to be very easy to plug and unplug, depending on the use case you want. So we built it like a DAW integration that works for Bitwig and Ableton Live at the moment. So right now my computer lead is completely SAT. I don't even look at my computer. And here we have the Bitwig interface. We can arm tracks, we can solo tracks. So now we soloed only like the Reliq track right here, and we can record the clip. So now we're recording what's coming from the matrix mixer of Reliq straight to the DAW. We can stop the recording, and now I will turn off the arm so we don't listen anything from live, and I can play back the clip straight from the DAW. And I can of course delete the clip and go back. And there is also a mixer mode in the DAW, so here we can define different levels, different panning and the effects. So if we need to go on a DAW, if we need to add a DAW on the setup, it's easy to just plug it, do the work straight from Reliq without having to change our mindset, and then continue on with a with the rest of the composition. There are several other things that we haven't gone through. There are like melody generators, there are harmony generators, there's inter-track relationships, so you can have one track that comes up with a melody suggestion, and then you have another bass line, for example, that follows the melody. So you can change between the two to create new relationships between them.
Let me stop you here. So it's really, really complex. But what I understood, you separated this like into different workspaces, and within each workspace you can zoom in and out or get an overview so it doesn't get over your head.
That is exactly the point. So we like the reason that it's so big is because we wanted to have a big interface where everything is one button away.
Yep.
We don't like menu diving so much. Of course, there are different modes, as you very nicely mentioned, and this is a thing that it's always on the screen. It never changes. Those buttons they always change between different modes, and yeah, like there's also LFOs and envelopes. Something that came recently is that you can assign an envelope to the mixer. So like this will work as having 32 VCAs and 32 envelopes and LFOs that they're all controlling the amplitude or the filter of something. And this can be assigned to either CV or MIDI or some internal parameters on Reliq like pitch offset.
Okay, and when did this come out and how much does it cost?
So we started working on this 5 years ago. First Superbooth was 2023 where we showed the first prototype. It took us 2 years since then to finally produce it. It has been quite the journey. Right now we have fulfilled all the crowdfunding orders and a big part of the waiting list. It is in production, but it's currently sold out.
Okay, but you're already on firmware 1.6, so this is improving all the time too?
Yes. We're doing one firmware update per month at the moment, one OS update per month, which has been a bit harsh on us, but it's also very nice because we see the instrument evolve in real time.
Yes.
And we really see the potential we can reach.
And how much does it cost?
This version costs 1,899 euros.
Yes.
And there's also a wooden version which is made to order and costs 1,999.
And is it only available from your website or from the usual retailers?
We are working with some retailers. It's available on our website usually, but also it's available in Sneijdersladen here in Berlin, and it's going to be soon available in Perfect Circuit and a couple of other selected retailers. There is a waiting list. You can sign up. Usually within like 5 to 10 weeks you're going to receive an invitation to place an order. Yeah, that is that part of Reliq.
Yeah, okay, well, great. No, I finally understand this. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.